So will you play my favorite game with me?
Yes.
We're playing behind the scenes! Okay. 40-year-old virgin.
What's the inside thing? Everyone would be riffing, and Seth would be super hilarious, and Romney Malco and Paul Rudd and Jane Lynch, and everyone's like really funny, and the crew looked at us like we were crazy. Like they didn't get what the style was, and so the set was really quiet. It wasn't one of those sets where like the crew's like, you are nailing it. I think it was like Clint Eastwood's crew, and they were all used to doing like one take. Right? So Clint does one take, he's like, that's good enough. And we would do like 20 takes and improvise for hours, and it was all madness, and they would just look at us like, this is not how you do it.
All right, I just watched it again for the 78th time. Knocked Up!
Yes.
Oh, it's the best movie ever! Tell me something about it.
About Knocked Up? Well, I mean, part of it was, when we were about to have a baby, we were really looking for a doctor who would guarantee that he would be there. Because, sometimes the doctor's like, and if I'm busy, Chuck will show up, And we were like, we don't want Chuck. We don't know Chuck. We'd like to just have you do it. So can you promise that you're in town this month or so and you'll show up? And the doctor's like, definitely, I will definitely be there. And then Leslie's water broke, and we went to the doctor's office, and the doctor said, no, that's not your water breaking. And then 3 hours later, she's in full labor, and then we call the office and go, okay, it's time. And they went, oh, the doctor just went to San Francisco to go to a bar mitzvah. So I think he lied and said her water didn't break, and we didn't have another doctor. So then we had to call a doctor that we didn't like, that we met to just pick a doctor, and we called the one that we had rejected, and he showed up like, oh, now you want me? And that's who Dr. Ken Jeong was playing in the movie, the angry doctor who showed up after being rejected. And as it was happening, it was such a nightmare. I just thought one day I just have to put this in a movie because it's so terrible. And then it all worked out.
I'm so glad you did. I am so glad you did. Okay, talk to me about sort of like, Gen Z's Sex and the City, the groundbreaking Girls.
The Girls. Well, I mean, the great thing about working on Girls was Lena and just her writing. I knew that she was doing things that no one had ever done before, and I don't think she gets enough credit for really changing television.
Yes, I agree.
It was so honest and so frank, and she went so deep. And I think if you look at what TV was before and after it had a dramatic effect on what people thought that they could do on these shows, and also to have a woman as the writer, director, showrunner, star. There hasn't been a lot of that. There's been a lot more since, and I feel like she opened that door.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Also, I'm so in love with Adam Driver.
Yeah.
And it's like the world's biggest movie star. She discovered him. Trainwreck.
Yes. Trainwreck. What about Trainwreck? Well, I mean, Trainwreck was amazing because I met Amy Schumer, and then we had a few conversations about relationships, and I would just say, like, well, what's going on with your relationships? What's going wrong? Maybe you should write about that. And then she sent me like 40 pages 2 weeks later, and they were incredible. And most people, you ask them a question like that and say, write up some pages, and they just never talk to you ever again. You just don't, people don't deliver. And she worked so hard and wrote such a great, very honest movie. And then, we got LeBron James to do it, which was this hilarious thing.
Huge.
Because I think she wrote his name into the script almost as a joke.
And did you think you would really get him?
Yeah, you don't think he's going to do it. And then he just happened to, be hysterical, and he worked with Bill Hader on Saturday Night Live. And then he showed up, and we shot all this stuff in a week. And for that week, he just had to hang out with us all day, every day.
Okay, the king of Staten Island.
Yeah.
Is Pete Davidson as like adorable and crush-worthy as like all the women on the planet feel that he is?
Well,
I like
suddenly I'm getting the whole Tom Green thing right now. I understand how it happens, right? That in that era, he was the Pete Davidson, Adam Driver of the era.
He was a pioneer. He did something before anybody else did.
He did almost everything before everybody else did. He did the first like internet talk show.
Since Candid Camera, there was nothing like that.
Yeah.
But is Pete Davidson is he just so delightful and wonderful? And I feel like he's just got everyone on his side.
Well, he was really brave to sit down and write his story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fictional story, but it's based on all the emotions he has about losing his father and grief. And that's what I found most impressive about him. Because there was never a moment where he said, like, let's not talk about that. That goes too far. That's too personal. He really wanted to share. And by knowing Pete, I got to know all the firefighters and the firefighters who worked with his father. And that was really the best part of making the movie, was just to be in that community.
Judd, I just thank you so much for everything that you put out there for the world.
Thank you.